Hey, girls just want to have fun. Death in Heaven. I don't know how long this one's going to end up being because there's very, very little I can talk about. Remember how tied my hands were with talking about the last episode because it was all spoilers? Well, doubly so this time around. It was good. It was solid. There was some moments, especially towards the end, that really had a good, solid emotional impact on me. So I feel this episode played its cards pretty well. And I'm on board and rolling with what the sort of the reveal and the deal with Missy is. I'm on board with that. And I think it played out well, and it played out consistently enough that after sort of we found out what was going on last episode, this episode we get it full force, and I feel it does fit and it makes sense. We get some nice features for some nice returning characters, which I always enjoy, and I feel that they were well utilized. Danny Pink and Clara once again working very well individually, even better as a pair. Once Danny Pink got introduced, Clara really became a character that I enjoyed. And that all really sort of plays off very well in this episode. I've got a couple of nitpicky logistical things that are bugging me a little bit, but that'll be a spoiler discussion. About the only thing that is more sort of generalized that I wish was a little bit different was, you may have remembered last time I said the doctor felt slightly sidelined. And whether or not that was going to be an issue was going to depend on how central he was in this episode. Well, he's pretty central, but a lot of the emotional weight of the episode is being carried by Clara and Danny. And I do feel that given what's going on, the doctor could have carried that emotional weight himself. I mean, he's dealing with a lot on an emotional level, certainly. But the show doesn't allow him to be the standard bearer for the emotional impact. That gets handed off to Clara and Danny. And again, it's done very well, but just for my personal preference of who I like more, I kind of wish the doctor was carrying more of the weight of the episode on his shoulders than he is. That, honestly though, that's a personal preference. Goodness, I think that's really about all that I can say on this spoiler-free review. It was good. It was a nice way to wrap up. I'm not going to call it the best series finale that we've had, but it's good. It's solid. It sort of calls back to a number of things that happened over this series and also even some earlier ones. And what it chooses to tie up, ties up well, ties up nicely. And I like where it sort of points things going in terms of where things might be headed in the future. And I really like the stinger at the end that sets up the Christmas special. Those have kind of become a little bit of a standard. We get those, not every time, but fairly frequently. We get a nice little button that sets up the Christmas special. We got a bit more with Tennant, with the Titanic crashing in and Donna Noble turning up and all of that. So we get one of those at the end of these, and it made me smile. It's goofy as heck, but it put a smile on my face. So I think that's about it for this one. I gotta wrap it up because I really want to talk spoilers, and I gotta do that as a separate video. So I hope you'll tune in for that one too. As for this, if you've seen this episode, I'm assuming you've seen the entirety of Series 8. What was your feeling on this series, the first series for Peter Capaldi as the Doctor? Whatever you thought, is it the best? Is it the worst? Does it fall in the middle? More towards the top? More towards the bottom? Where did it land for you? For me, upper half, certainly. Exactly where it lands, I still got to sort a few things out in my head, but this was good stuff and it was a good launch for Capaldi. But whatever you think is the case, drop something down in the comments and let's talk about it. Until next time, this council is adjourned.